If you want to hit your longest, straightest drives this year, then you need to make sure that you do these things right when you're trying to hit the longest club in your bag. So driver is everybody's pet hate. A lot of people don't get on with their driver. You maybe hit a couple and then you hit that loose one out of bounds and you're quickly losing shots. But today, guys, on Get Good at Golf, that's exactly what we are going to be talking about. I'm going to point out two of the biggest errors that I see when people come for lessons or you walk up and down the driving range that are costing you shots. They're costing you poor drives, and they're costing you not getting that handicap down. So the first one that I see is a lot of people get in there, they go, okay, right, I've got to be taller with my drive because my driver's longer, so I'm going to make sure that I'm nice and tall. Arms are matching there, and I'm reaching for the golf ball. So straight away there, I'm up tall, I've got no angles, I've got no way in which to obviously create some load and some obviously pressure into the ground to push off from to get the longest drives. What I start to see from here is very much that we don't have much wrist hinge, and we get into this position. You can see here I can still speak normally because there's no real pressure, there's no real tension. I'm not really doing anything, I've just picked the club up basically, and from here then we're going to often see that people will drop the club behind, drop kick that ball and finish on the back foot. So straight away there I'm not creating any angles, I'm not creating any pressure in the backswing, and I'm not then able to get a good centered strike and get the ball going not only on line but going a long way. The second one I start to see is that people go, right, yes, this is my longest club, so I need to make sure I'm a little bit further away. And this is the posture we get into. A long way away from the ball, my arms are reaching for that, and once we take that club away, we start to see this. We start to see people getting stuck on their left-hand side, and from here we often throw that club over the top, and again, finish on that back foot. We're never getting through to that finish where my chest and my hips are pointing towards my target. All my weight's on my left-hand side, and we're in balance. These two postures are what is killing golf. So this is killing golf, or your golf, because we're not able to be, the word that everybody looks for, we're not able to be consistent. So we're not able to start to get a reasonable pattern in your strike. So we're not able to see, right, well, my normal ball flight may be a little bit left to right because that is my consistent swing. One ball might go way left, one ball might go way right, and then we might find the elusive middle and hit it straight down the fairway. We then think we've got it, but then we go back into that same routine. So what I want you to do is think about if you was going to skim a stone. So if I was going to skim a stone on water, we would very much be a little bit bent over from the waist, my legs would be nice and strong, and from here I'd be stepping and I'd be getting into this position here to let that ball or stone, it would go if we were skimming a stone, and get that going. So I want to think, right, I've got to recreate that with my golf swing. So straight away here, I want to be in a position where I've bent from the waist, I've got a little bit of knee flex where I'm using the ground, I can push off either way. And from here, my arms are hanging underneath my shoulders. So I'm not reaching, because again, if I was going to skim a stone, I wouldn't stand with my hand out here because I would fall forwards and I wouldn't have control of that. Again, I also wouldn't skim a stone from being stood up here because more than likely it's just going to go straight into the water. We're not going to get any kind of skimming motion, and again, there's no power on that stone. So if I can get into my setup, I can bend from the waist, let my knees have a little bit of flex, and just get my arms to hang from my shoulders. You can see they're nice and relaxed, but one good thing for you to do is if you drop that club there, that should drop just in between your stance. You'll see that that club has dropped in line with my left heel and my right heel, so it's right in that position. If I'm too far away, you're going to start to see, right, I've got the club here. Again, that's on the toes, so that's right, it's further forwards. Again, we're out of position. I'm not able to control that. And if we do the tall position, I'm not going to do it because it's going to hit you somewhere where you probably don't want to be hit with a golf club. So obviously there we're going to have feedback of exactly where we want to be. We want to get in that strong solid setup to be able to get the ball coming off as we expect. So if I get in here again, bend from the waist, little bit of knees. If my club's here, you can see my hands are obviously nice and loose below my shoulders. I'm in then a strong position to be able to build a swing and get through to that solid finish. You can see there with the tracer on there, a nice solid ball flight straight down the fairway, and that is the first drive of the day. But I've been able to there get into a solid setup. I've been able to think, right, it's bend from the waist, then add my knees. We'll start to see some consistency from there because I can repeat that. So we can start to get used to that position, so we can get the club in. You start to feel right, bend from the waist, a little bit of knees. Right, if I'm then reaching for that club, I can just go a little bit closer. I'm now in that solid position again. Arms are nice and relaxed. I can get a solid backswing. And those are two identical drives. That one I launched a little bit higher, but they are going to be bang next to each other down there. And all I've thought about there is getting into the correct setup. Again, you need to make sure that you're getting these things right. Don't be that guy who stood up tall like a pencil. Don't be that guy who's a long way away and reaching for that. Start to get into that posture, bend from the waist, add those knees, and you're in a nice, agile position, just like James Robinson is every time. He's not here, so we just thought we'd give him a little bit of a dig. But guys, if you do that this year, you're going to get good at golf, and we're going to see you again tomorrow.